In this short video tutorial, we'll be discussing the KWL chart, and we'll also be discussing how to fill out a KWL chart based on a reading. So let's start with the basics of KWLs. So what is a KWL chart? A KWL chart is basically a way to improve your reading comprehension and other English skills as well. How does KWL help you? The main focus of a KWL chart is the improvement of your reading comprehension skills. So that's the main thing that KWL helps you with. However, it also helps you with writing, grammar, and vocabulary, because as you'll see when we discuss how to fill out a KWL chart, we have chances to practice writing and grammar and vocabulary. This is what a KWL chart looks like. You'll be filling out these KWL charts for the reading assignments in this class. So first of all, we have the article title. Right here is where we'll type in the article title, whether it's a book or a newspaper or a academic journal article. We type the title in this space. Then we can see three columns: the what I know column, the what I want to know column, and what I learned column. So we can see that KWL stands for know, want to know, and learned. So what we do is, before we read the article, we fill out these two columns, what I know and what I want to know. After we finish reading the article or the text, we fill in the what I learned column. So after we finish filling out the three columns for the KWL, then we go down here and then we write the author's main idea or the writer's main idea in one sentence. Let's take a look at this article that we'll do a KWL chart for. So this is the article called "The Ape in the Office." So this is the title of the article, so we know that we want to type that into our KWL first. We can also take a look at some of the pages and look at the pictures that we see throughout this article. So we have a picture of a gorilla here. It looks like it's angry or yelling. Then we can actually go to the next page and we can see another picture of a person, a man yelling at other people. Maybe it's a boss or a manager. We can also see another picture of a gorilla here. Looks like he's touching his chest or pounding his chest. He looks like he's maybe excited or something. We can also take a look at some of these headings here. For example, we see cooperation versus conflict, the value of networking, the importance of hierarchies, and limits of aggression. So maybe we don't know all the meanings of these words, but that's okay. We can still fill our KWL based on what you already know. Okay, here we're back at our KWL chart, and we're going to start filling this out based on the article called "The Ape in the Office." So the first thing that we want to do is type in the article's title, which is "The Ape in the Office." And then we can fill out some of these columns. We can start with what I know. Now we remember we took a look at the article, kind of skimmed it. We didn't read it really, but we looked at the pictures. So we know that this article is going to be something about maybe gorillas or monkeys. So just based on looking at the pictures and this title, "The Ape in the Office," we can kind of explain what we already know about this topic. Okay, so now I've filled out the what I know column. I've started all my sentences with "I know that." So I've said I know that gorillas and monkeys are related to humans in some way. I know that humans and some monkeys have similar behaviors. I know that gorillas and some monkeys can use tools like humans. So we're just writing down anything we know about this topic or the topic we guessed the reading is going to be about. Of course, you can do more than just three. You should write as much as you know about this topic or what you think this topic is going to be about. Next, we'll fill in what I want to know. Now remember that we still have not read the article yet. We've just skimmed it. We looked at the pictures, but we have not read the article in detail yet. So here, under what I want to know, we're going to write 5 WH questions and 1 yes/no question at least. You can do more if you'd like to for more practice, but we want to ask questions about the article. For example, questions about what we think the article is going to be about, or maybe what we want to learn from the article just by looking at the pictures and the title. Okay, here we have the what I want to know column filled with our questions. So I've written several WH questions as well as 1 yes/no question about what I want to know from reading this article. I don't know if these questions will be answered after I read, but it's something that I want to know about, so I've asked these questions. We'll find out if these questions are answered, of course, when we finish reading the article. Again, you can write more than just 7 questions. You can write, let's say, 7 WH questions and 3 yes/no questions. It's totally up to you, and it's just totally up to you as far as how much practice you want to give yourself in writing questions. So the next thing we do is we're going to take time to read the article very carefully. And after we've read the article, that's when we'll fill in what I learned. Okay, so now that I've finished reading the article called The Ape in the Office, I've filled out this last column in the KWL under what I learned. So all the information here I've learned from the reading. This is stuff that I didn't know before. What I did was I filled out different sentences here. I started each sentence with I learned that, and then I included the information that I learned from the reading. Now I only did 3 here, but you can do and should do 5 or more. You can do 5, 6, 7, you can do 20 if you like. You can type on the back of this KWL or extend the column so that you can have as many pieces of information that you want to include. One thing that you have to make sure that you remember is that all the information that you write in this what I learned column should be from the reading, but it should be in your own words. In other words, I don't want you to copy sentences from the article. You can copy ideas, but you need to write those ideas in your own words, using English, obviously. And after you've finished what I learned in this column, you can move on to the very last thing, which is the author's main idea, which you write in 1 sentence. For this article, I wrote 1 main idea sentence about the entire article. So here, I wrote in the article, The Ape in the Office, the author explains that both humans and other primates have similar social rules. So this part of the sentence is the actual main idea. Both humans and other primates have similar social rules. But I also included this kind of introduction to the author's main idea by adding in the article, The Ape in the Office. That's the title of the article. And then the author explains that. So this is kind of a formula that you can use to introduce your main idea sentence. Now remember that this 1 sentence is the main idea for the whole article, not 1 paragraph or not 2 paragraphs, but the entire article. And that's how we fill out a KWL chart.